I'm going to beat you. I'm going to let you know I beat you. And I'm going to want you to reconsider your professional life choice. It was championships or nothing. If I got to fight to get you in the gym, that's a problem. But if you're lazy, man, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. You don't make me feel dumber. I wake up in the morning excited to get to it. You know, if I'm not training, I'm missing it. I'm not watching a game of basketball, I miss it. There's no place I'd rather be. And if you have that feeling, then you're truly doing what God has put you on this earth to do.
It's a simple thing of math. If you want to be a great player, if you play every single day, 2-3 hours, every single day, over the course of a year, how much better are you getting? Most kids will play maybe an hour and a half, 2 days a week. You know, growing up, they instilled in me the importance of imagination, of curiosity, and understanding that, okay, if you want to accomplish something, I'm not just going to sit here and say, yes, you can do whatever you want. Yes, you can, but you have to also put in the work to get there. So they taught me that at a really early age, man. And when you grow up as a kid thinking that the world is your oyster, and all things are possible if you put in the work to do it, you grow up having that fundamental belief. My father was really influential at a really critical time where I had a summer where I played basketball when I was like 10 or 11 years old in a very prominent summer league in Philadelphia called the Sunny Hill League, where my father played, my uncle played, and they were like all-time great. And here I come playing and I don't score 1 point the entire summer because I was terrible. I think that's when the idea of understanding a long-term view became important, because I wasn't going to catch these kids in a week. I wasn't going to catch them in a year. I started creating a menu of things. When I came back the next summer, I was a little bit better. About the end of my right when I was turning 14, I became the best player in the state. Show up every single day, do the work, because a lot of the kids that I was playing against were inner city kids, right? But now I'm saying, okay, well, you're trying to attack me. How am I going to attack you? How can I mentally figure out ways to break you down? How can I show you that, no, I have the edge, right? And so that's when it first started for me, is figuring out how to get the upper hand on an opponent that way. The mistakes that you've made in that game, you have to do the hard stuff and watch that game and study that game to not make those mistakes over and over again.
You watch game film and you see what you do right, you see what you do wrong.
It taught me to look at detail, right? Look at things at their smallest, right? Look at body language, look at the energy between players, right? Look at the tactics. Look at the overall strategy and to look at how tactically things are manifesting themselves. And because I watched so much film, then it gave me the ability to see game in real time as if I was watching film. But if you train yourself to watch hours and hours of film, the game's not moving that fast anymore. You can really recognize who's doing what and why. What could we have done differently? It's an obsessiveness that comes along with it. You want things to be as perfect as they can be. Understanding that nothing is ever perfect, but the challenge is try to get them as perfect as they can be.
I'm not going to hire you to tell you how to do your job.
But what you can do is alter behavior and also change the vernacular of how they speak about the game. So on team buses, team planes, in a locker room, after practice, you speak to them in executional terms. It's never, come on guys, we can do better. Come on guys, we can do better. That's rah-rah stuff. A leader must give very tactical things that we can do, adjustments. The challenge for me was always compassion and empathy. It's understanding like, okay, these guys have lives. And it was hard for me to understand that because nothing bothered me. Right? Your leader, your job is to get the best out of them, right? And that's when you have to collectively look at each other and say, the spirit of your team must be good, because at that moment is when teams fracture. If the energy amongst each other isn't there, that trust isn't there, you're done. And so for me, it was like, okay, I have to aim for something. I said, I want to aim for size. I want to aim for bulk, right? So that's a tangible thing. I'm going to go for that, right? But then also it's, my children, because like your kids can't see how hard you work. You go to the office, I come into the studio, they don't really see the effort, right? So how can we teach our children what it means to work hard? Well, you do it through training. Right? So when I get up in the morning, my daughter goes with me. Through that process, she understands the value of hard work and things taking time. And the same thing with my 12-year-old, right? She practices every day. And so it's through those behaviors. What does love feel like? I think I would describe love as happiness. I think I'd describe it as a beautiful journey. It has its ups and downs, right? Whether it's in marriage or whether it's in the career, things are never perfect. But through love, you continue to persevere. And then through that storm, beautiful sun emerges.
I had a dream. Like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. Lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I'd imagine what the uniforms look like. I'd imagine where we'd be playing, and the smell of the arena and all sorts of stuff. I had a purpose. I wanted to be one of the best basketball players to ever play, and anything else that was outside of that lane, I didn't have time for. The love of the game, the challenge. Like I would watch Magic play, I'd watch Michael play,
And I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out, right? I got to get stronger. I got to train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I got to tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast, right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game and it just never changed, right? Well, that's because they didn't do the pre-work, right? So when you do the pre-work, you understand, okay, this team in this situation likes to run a double team from this particular angle. All right, so I'm gonna clear that side out, force the double team to come from a different angle, move myself to a space on the floor where it's going to take a long time for the double team to come, and now I can circumvent the double team and get to a place on the floor where I can knock down a shot or get to the basket. So it's all that pre-work. Do you understand the business? Is it a business that you can help in some form or fashion? What are the barriers of entry to that business? And then the entrepreneurs themselves, the company itself, right? Do they have a culture that you believe is sustainable? Are these leaders people that you believe in? Are they people that are obsessives? And in turn, have they created a culture of obsessiveness? So I tend to look at those 4 factors, and that's it. Perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. So I would be in a layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. You have a hamstring injury, you pull your hamstring really, really badly. You can barely walk, right? Let alone play anything. Soccer, basketball, volleyball, whatever it is. Can't do anything. Doctor tells you go home, sit up on the couch, rest your hammy, right? Stay off of it, don't get up, no sudden movements. You're at home, all of a sudden a fire breaks out in the home. Kids are upstairs, wife is wherever she may be, shit's going down. Willing to bet that you're gonna forget about your hamstring, you're gonna sprint upstairs, you're gonna grab your kids, make sure your wife's good, you're getting out of that house. And so when the game is more important than the injury itself, you don't feel that damn injury.
This is the mindset of one of the greatest players in NBA history, Kobe Bryant. From an average athlete to an immortal legend. Want to dive deeper into his inspiring journey? Check out the book, The Mamba Mentality, How I Play, where Kobe opens up about his mindset, his intense training, and his obsession with excellence. Links in the description and pinned comment. And if you enjoyed this video, just tap the screen now to keep watching. You'll learn even more about how to become relentless like the Mamba.